For my Milanote introductory presentation, I have my portfolio work, inspirational artists, and resources. For my first portfolio piece, I chose this work from Digital Illustration 2. This was one of my final projects of the course, and I remember this fondly because this is when I was working more on the backgrounds and perspective. With the light source and general experience I wanted to get from this work, this is one that really sticks out in my mind for my portfolio. This piece was created in my studio illustration class, and was made using black ink and black pens. I was initially questioning if I could make a piece of work worth it with these materials, but as I continued on, I started to really enjoy what was coming out from it, and it turns out to be one of my favorite pieces to put in my portfolio. This was a logo that I created for a client for my advanced graphic design class. Working with a client for the first real time was a really good experience that I finally look back on. The back and forth between me and the client was something to really get used to, but this experience really helped me with trying to be able to do this again in the future. This piece was a personal one made not for a class, but as an attempt at a character design sheet. It was not my first, but in fact fifth time trying to attempt something like this, and although I would better use the back side of the character, I still appreciate the work I put into advancing each one after the other. This was a book cover I made for a graphic design class, and this was made on the Agatha Christie book Halloween Party. Doing this book cover was a really enjoyable process, and putting it together and holding the physical printed piece in hand really solidified it. It was one of my favorite times of using graphic design into one of my pieces. When it comes to inspirational artists, one of them was Thomas Perkins, a character designer who worked on many animated shows and films. His work was featured in many of the stuff I watched as a kid and inspired me into the art world. He has a weird style of unique characters and environments, and a big influence of what I try to do. Jack Unruh, who was an illustrator, created work for different magazines and articles like the New York Times and National Geographic. His work had great inspirations of lifelike works and environment-based illustrations, with a bit of a twist to them as well, using inks and more studio-based mediums. Tom Velez is an illustrator graphic designer who has worked on different freelance/full-time projects, including illustrations, concept art, and more. This artist inspires me because of the similar work I wish to pursue. When it comes to resources, I added 3 links to be noticed. ArtStation, a website that has many examples of 3D modeling, graphic design, illustrations, serves as an inspiration for anyone in a similar field. I recommend it really much if you're looking for any inspiration in similar attributes. The Digital Artcast is a podcast where they talk about what's going on, old and new, in the world of art and digital illustration. The 4 hosts talk about their own experiences in the field and the examples of the medium in the current entertainment industry. A nice way of getting inspiration while also just listening to something similar to your own interests. And the Inspiration Grid is a graphic design blog that provides inspiration for any future designs. It can be useful for content revolving around design, illustration, and even photography. Just another source if you needed some help with any future ideas. With all this information set in stone, I want to push all the work I have done into this next project, using the illustration and some graphic design skills to be what's considered as a great entry in the capstone project in general. And with that, that's my introductory presentation. Hope you enjoyed.